Hey there guys, it's Metro, and today we are back, and this time we're taking a look at Beguiling. It's actually available on the PTR, so I don't have any actual gameplay footage yet. This is part of the reason why I'm making the video, hoping to stir up some interest in testing it with me tomorrow on the normal live stream slot on Saturday. I try to normally stream from around like noonish to probably about 5-ish on Saturdays. I am totally committed to doing this, so if for some reason we have to push it back or start earlier for certain people or for some reason, I'm willing to do that. But I definitely want to get some testing done on this. But for now, I'm in here just kind of taking a look at it. We're going to talk a little bit about it, and I'm going to give my initial opinions on it and kind of react to some of the opinions of others so far. So, as always, Wowhead has a great post on it. I'm going to show that here. You guys can check that out on Wowhead. It's actually a really good little piece here. This was made just yesterday, so up to date and everything like that. So, long story short, there's effectively 3 new mob types that are going to be present throughout the dungeon. And the best way to probably look at it is kind of more like the Infested Affix, which was Season 1, completely different than Season 2's Affix, where the mobs are not even there when you start the dungeon. They're not there until you do something. This time, they're here the whole time. And, you know, you could skip them. You could, you know, they're not mandatory to kill. Some people suggested that they might be mandatory and that you might actually have to, like, there was like 3 of 3. You might have to kill 1 of each or something like that. Doesn't appear to be the case. So we're going to start with the Enchanted Emissary, okay? Emissary comes with a passive aura, Queen's Decree, blowback. So basically, it's just, you can actually see it here. Let's see, I'm going to go show it off, actually, while we do this. Let's go ahead and do that first, because this will actually work out pretty well. We could show what they look like, and we could talk about why they might be complicated based on what the Wowhead article has to say. So here's one right here. This is the Enchanted Emissary, okay? Down here, now, again, just like Infested, they're going to be kind of in random places every week. Not random, obviously, they're going to be with a pack each time, but yeah, they're basically just a 3rd mob in this pack now. And you'll actually see that the buff that it's applying is not in range of this mob, so that's unique. Yeah, how about that? Okay, so anyway, let's read the thing on Wowhead now, and we'll talk about why it's going to be interesting. So, Emissary comes with a passive aura, Queen's Decree, blowback. So that's that big shield that you just saw. It's immune to crowd control, but can be knocked, can stunned and knocked back, including being hit and targeted and triggering the passive Enchanted. Okay, all nearby allies in the radius of the arcane bubble will be affected by Queen's Decree, which reflect 200% of the damage dealt back at the target. You'll want to use Enchanted by having a player knock the Enchanted Emissary out of the range of the other mobs before killing them. So, let's keep reading. But anyway, the Emissary itself does not apply the 200% reflect damage debuff to itself. Enchanted Emissary has a lot of health, as you saw just there. So then eventually, once it has a full energy bar, it's going to go away. So that's how you get rid of it. You just keep it away from you for 30 seconds. It eventually goes away. Okay. So the thing is here, it's basically protecting mobs, okay? And you want to not damage those mobs effectively. Like, you're going to need to do like pretty much full single target DPS on the Emissary itself, because otherwise you'll be doing a ton of damage to yourself, and that's not ideal. So what you want is probably a ranged damage healer, or maybe even a healer, to just get this mob out of the area. All right, so you either can, more realistically, you're just going to get this mob out of the area, kill the pack, and then go and kill this mob too. Or I guess you can just keep knocking it back. I don't know. Like, I don't really know how people are going to approach it. I'm not worried about speculating on that right now. But all I know is, you know, if it's, you know, so back to this, if it's like a pack like this, you're probably going to just get this thing away from these other 2 mobs. I mean, ironically, this mob is not even protected by it. So I don't know if that's a bug or not. This one is. But the mob is not actually close enough to be in the aura by default. But you just want to get this thing away from it. And either, yeah, you don't want to kill this, obviously, right? This mob just dies on its own. After it gets to so much energy, it just dies on its own. So let's take a look at what it looks like here. So as you see, I'm actively knocking it back. These mobs are not actually tied together, ironically, right? So you don't even pull both of these when you pull this pack, right? And now it's, for some reason, Explosive Week on the PTR, even though it's not Explosive Week on live. But I can literally just do this alone. If I was able to solo this pack, I can just keep up the dot, keep a dot on this mob. Let's see if you could actually knock it back. You can knock it back as well. Let's see if we could try to Ursouls it, even though we got feared. Let's see what happens. Ursouls does work. Yes, there you go. So Ursouls works as well. So it looks like fully manipulatable. The mob is literally just something that you're just going to want to keep away from the other mobs. Kind of more of a pest than, you're not actually going to kill it. You don't want to do damage to it. It's kind of a waste of time. But at the same time, you don't want to, yeah, you need to do some damage, some direct damage to it Otherwise, it's going to be guarding the pack that you're fighting. But that's an ironic start to the testing there, because those mobs are not even tethered, even though they're in the same pack with the emissary. And the 2 mobs aren't even, like, I wonder if I could have actually pulled that bird without pulling the emissary. I don't know. But back to this, before we continue on with the other types of emissaries, we also want to talk about what happens when you wipe to the enchanted emissary, because that's going to be very important as well. So enchanted emissaries, energy will only drain in combat. So, you know, we started, it had 100 energy. It drained. I didn't actually realize how long I was in combat for, or how long it was draining. It might have been actually pretty far. Might have been pretty close to doing that. We might actually be able to kill that mob. We might try that, but or like, you know, get it out of there anyway. But yeah, the energy drain will pause until it's engaged in combat again. So yeah, actually, let's go back down. And we're gonna take another look at this mob, and we're gonna see exactly how much energy it has left. So we'll know how much time we still have in combat with the mob. Hopefully, I don't need to actually go stealth here. Yeah, okay, good. We could just, oh, it's gone. Yeah, it's gone. So I guess I had killed it or whatever. It's just gone. So that's cool. So now it's just gone for good. You can literally just solo that. You know what I mean? It's pretty interesting. You don't actually have to kill that one. So very unique. Okay, so now let's see. We'll go back to the Wowhead thing and look at the next one, which is going to be the Void Touched Emissary. This emissary comes with a passive aura, Void Sight, granting it True Sight. So there you go. Death of Rogues, right? It's going to probably be in a lot of packs that are going to be very hard to skip now. I mean, you're not going to be able to shroud any pack with this in it. Just factually, you can't get by it. You'd have to Shadow Mail maybe, and even that might not work. I don't know. But anyway, this deals shadow damage equal to 50% of the target's health to enemies in line of sight within a 60-yard radius. And it doesn't say that here. It says it somewhere. It's an 8-second. There we go. So basically, the mob is going to just do nothing but channel a cast called Queen's Decree Hide for some reason. It sounds like an error. I don't know why the name of the ability would be called Hide, but anyway, it's just going to constantly channel this 8-second ability, and we're going to show this in a second. But the ability triggers blah blah blah, increasing shadow damage dealt by 50% and stacks, making subsequent hits of this damage a lot harder to deal with. Okay, so it's going to start by dealing 50% of the target's health. Now, this does get reduced by absorbs and probably of evasion, or what's it called? Avoidance, right? It probably does get reduced by avoidance because it's definitely an AoE. So I don't know, you know, how realistic it is to maybe somehow absorb 100% of this first one or something like that. But it doesn't matter, because once you get hit by the first one, the second one is going to kill you. So now something to test is coming here on a Blood Decay, and if AMS absorbed the entirety of it, would I get the stack? Because that's should be how it works. If AMS ever blocks the entirety of a magic thing, no secondary effects from that said magic thing will apply to you either. So that's actually, if that's somehow possible, I doubt it. AMS is probably not going to absorb that much in any scenario. Then I don't think it's going to happen. But you know, maybe it is. So who knows? Now, this emissary does not have an absorbent amount of health. It's got pretty much the same health as a normal mob. Yeah, so they put a little bit of a value to it. And when the ad reaches 1 health, it will cast Teleport the Eternal Pal. So this mob is very different. It basically, they want you to kite it or line of sight it, okay? And yeah, that's not going to be very easy, you know? So this is, the Affix itself is going to be very like this. It's going to be like, if you can there's like a hard counter for each of these emissaries, right? For each of these types of emissaries, a hard counter. If you do that hard counter, very, very simple. If you mess that hard counter up, you're probably going to wipe. And this one might be the hardest hard counter because you can't skip it, right? Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it's going to be you're not going to be able to stealth it. It doesn't seem like it's in any way CCable. I did mess around with it a bit. Let's go take a look. But yeah, you know, you're gonna have to either line of sight or, you know, just heal through it somehow, kill it so fast that multiple don't kill you. I don't know how realistic that's gonna be, but oh yeah, we're gonna have to kill this mob. Unfortunately, I don't have time for that. So let's go ahead and just go ahead and pull this. So you're gonna see Queen's Decree. Now I can't interrupt it. I can't knock it back. I can't incapacitate it. I can't do anything. It won't move. Doesn't seem like it's gonna move. Let's see. Let's test that one more time. Didn't mean to die that quick. I don't think it's gonna move. I'm pretty sure that it will just stand there the whole time. Like it would be pretty unfair if it didn't do that, to be honest. We could just stealth up there. So I'm on a druid currently, in case you're wondering. Stealth up there, but of course we can't skip it because it's got True Sight. So let's take a look at what happens if we actually get we pull it and we run. But yeah, so you're gonna see I'm not gonna take damage from this. It's now actually showing that it's not, you know, you can't actually do anything about interrupting it. Yeah, so it's literally just gonna stand there. So I mean, I don't know. You guys are smarter than me in this way. I don't know what the possible implications are of this, but realistically, The fact that you can't move it is probably going to make it even harder. I doubt it can be gripped if it can't be knocked back. Let's see. It's still casting. It's got 3 stacks. The stacks are going to reset, right? Let's see. The mobs haven't fully reset yet, so let's take a look. I'm pretty sure the stacks don't reset automatically. They just have a duration. So we kind of have to wait here for them. But I'm assuming that if I can't grip it... Oh, it's taking some damage, though. Yeah, so the damage doesn't go away either, so... Yeah, it can't be gripped. It can't be knocked back, seemingly. I don't know about grip, but it seems like if you can't knock it back, you can't grip it either, right? So, yeah, there's no way to actually manipulate this mob. Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to kill this mob. It's going to be tough to line of sight it. I'd imagine there's going to be a lot of scenarios where it's actually really tough to line of sight it. And this is probably going to be the hardest mob in here because you can't just stealth past it, which I'd imagine is what most people would have did. But I don't know. Maybe you could hard CC it. Let's just try real quick. There's no reason to, though, right? Like, no, I guess if you could sheep it, it would work. I was thinking, like, if I could root it, that might be beneficial, but I don't think that's going to help. I don't have any way to actually CC this on a druid. So that'll be a topic, a video for another day. But anyway, let's keep going with this. So then the third one is... Oh, we've already... Oh, yeah, so one thing about that then is, of course, the Void Touch Emissary will retain its health on a wipe and drop all stacks of Queen's Decree. So that's not necessarily the case. Doesn't drop all the stacks immediately. They don't go away immediately, but they have a duration. So, realistically, if there was some possible way to prevent her from casting one of the casts, they could go away while you're in combat, too. It doesn't have anything to do with wiping, it seems. But anyway, yeah, the fact that it's going to retain its health means that, like, you could just come here, burn it down. If you wipe, come back, the mob's almost dead. Finish it off before it gets another cast off. Now, Emissaries of the Tides is the interesting one here to me. This emissary comes with the passive aura, Queen's Decree Unstoppable. All nearby allies are affected by Queen's Decree Unstoppable, making them immune to crowd control effects. This includes interrupts, silences, disorients, dazes, incapacitates, sleeps, snares, slows, and roots. So the mobs that are surrounding it cannot be interrupted, cannot be stunned, cannot be anything. So obviously, you guys know Battle for Azeroth, the Mythic Plus landscape. A lot of times you need to stun, interrupt, knock back, blah, blah, blah. It's just a mandatory part of the dungeon in a lot of cases. But this mob, I've been told you can CC. So, this mob, unlike the other mob, it doesn't, like, you don't have to worry about killing it as fast as possible. Like, the trash itself will be more dangerous than it. And the fact that it's buffing the trash, preventing it from being interruptible, is the hard part of this, right? So, like, you could nuke this mob down, but the mobs surrounding the emissary would probably kill you. You know what I mean? Like, if they're so dangerous that this mob should be in the pack, then you probably need to isolate it. So I think the play here for all 3 of these is going to be very specific. Like I said, there's going to be a hard condition, and if you could meet it, then you're going to be able to counter this. And if you can't, then you're going to be in serious trouble. So the first one, Enchanted Emissary, is you want just to isolate the mob. Just get the mob away from the pack, and it's eventually going to die. You don't have to do anything else. You could do that by, a healer pulling threat on it. You could have somebody just constantly knock it back. Like if you have like a hunter, just constantly shoot it with an ability. It'll keep knocking it away from the mobs while everybody else attacks the mobs that are being guarded by it. Or, even the tank might be able to just kind of keep it, just kind of handle it and let the other mobs just kind of be tanked by the damage dealers or something like that. Plenty of options, right? But this one is the complete opposite. The damage it does is the hard part. The packs that it's with are going to be hard too, I'm sure. But this is the hard. You got to get this thing out of here as soon as humanly possible. Unless you can guarantee that you're going to be able to line of sight every single cast, which is going to be hard because eventually you're going to have to be out, in line of sight to actually kill the thing. And you only have 8 seconds. So realistically, you're going to get like 3 or 4 globals off before you have to go hide again. You have to blow this thing up. So it's the complete opposite, right? The first one, you literally just don't even care about damage-wise. Just get it away from the pack and it dies. This one's the complete opposite. You got to blow this thing up. Can't be skipped. And the damage it does is going to be pretty much catastrophic. If you let it hit you more than twice, you definitely die, right? There's no way you're surviving 150% of your total HP and shadow damage. I don't see how. So, yeah, that's a big deal. I don't know how people are going to handle that, but it's basically just straight on nuke the hell out of this thing. And then this one's the opposite. You just want to probably CC this thing. Literally just CC it. You know what? You got a mage. sheep it. I assume it can be sheeped. It's a humanoid. Let's see if we can actually find one of these. I don't know exactly how, where it is in the dungeon. I've been told it's over on this side. The problem is, of course, there are mobs here, and they're fighting each other. I don't think they'll aggro, though. Should be able to sneak by. I don't know if we'll be able to pull it. Yeah, so here's one right here. So here's the third one. So there was one down here that was the enchanted one. There's one over here that's the shadow one, void touch, and then here's one that is, yeah, so first things first. Let's see if I pull these together, what happens. This would be interesting to test. If I combine these two packs, what actually happens? It doesn't, oh no, yep, yeah, it buffs all of them. Took a little bit, but it does buff all of them. So there you go. So if you ever combine these two mobs, these packs, you will have completely, like, yeah, bad idea. Let's put it that way. You've made a mistake. And now let's see if I could root this thing. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this off because these mobs are definitely, yeah, they're definitely going to aggro. But, well, actually, I might be able to get over here to the side. I don't know. I've never really done something like this before. Let's see. Can we sneak by? No, there's not actually any. I thought maybe we'd be able to get in here and sneak by. But, yeah, we should be able to root them. Let's see. Obviously, the mob that we're going to eventually have, the mobs in the pack that we're going to have to fight cannot be rooted. So, let's see. Let's see if we can pull something stealthy off here. Let's see. Oh, it can be rooted. So let's see what happens if we aggro. It just does nothing, right? Okay, so yeah, there you go. So it's definitely fully interactable. Like you know, you could hit it with any type of CC. It seems like if it can be rooted, it can definitely be sheeped and all that. So that's nice. So that's basically your win condition on that one. So once again, 3 mobs. One of them you just want to just literally get away from the mobs. Very easy. It's kind of like a tank mechanic almost. Void Touch Emissary, kind of a DPS mechanic, HPS mechanic, and then Emissary Tides, kind of like a CC mechanic. You know what I mean? So I really like this. I actually think this is really good. A lot of the people, you know, already people are saying it's easy. I don't see how it could be easy, but regardless, people are saying it doesn't look fun at all. And I understand why they would say that, right? The immediate criticism is it's not a giant AoE fest. That's not criticism. I think reaping was the worst thing that they ever could have did for this game. I really liked the idea of it when it was early, but now, you know, people like it's just created such degenerate gameplay. Like people saving all their CDs for the reap. Like it's easy. It doesn't do anything. There's no reason to pop all your AoE on it, and it completely trivializes the overall damage metric that people seem to talk about all the time in 5-man. They're like, oh, look how much overall damage I did. Well, can we take reaping out? You know, like, who cares? You did 150k AoE on 30 mobs that were never in any type of danger. We were never in any danger from, you know? So these mobs are actually going to be the complete opposite. You know, these mobs are going to make the packs extremely difficult. And in case you haven't noticed, they're all over the goddamn place. Let's see if we can get a better look at this. But these are all over the place. All right, so we already see one there, okay? There's one here. Now, you can't really see it, and I can't go over there because of True Sight. But there's one there, right? So that's a Void Touch guy. Now there's another one over there. That's one of the tied ones, okay? So there's basically, you know, if you're going to combine, realistically, I'm not going to be combining these skeletons with this Void Touch Emissary anymore. Those days are over. If I can combine those 2 packs together, then that pack and then that pack, we have only 1 out of the 3 packs without an emissary on that side. Now this side is not something that most people do, but you know, a lot of people do come over here for count. So if you're trying to do that, like people pull these 2 packs together in Lust to get easy count and then skip most of the right, that's out. You know what I mean? You literally can't skip. Let's see if there's, I don't know if we could actually, it seems like there might, no, I don't think there is one over there. I think what we might be able to do is stealth down here and check out the other side of the dungeon. Let's see if we can pull that off. But yeah, they're all over the place. So there's 2 over there. There's 1 down here, which is a pack that you will definitely have to pull. And this is just an enchanted one, which is actually another one that's not hitting all the mobs. Very odd. Even though those ones are in the aura. No, those ones are in the aura. This is the only one actually being hit by the aura. So that's probably a bug or something. I don't really know what to say about that. That'll probably be fixed then, I guess. I thought maybe it's because these packs were so, like, they're not actually the same, you know, the same pull. But anyway, so there's one there. There's one there. So that's already 5 that we've already seen in the dungeon. Now, look at this in the giant pack over here. Let's see if we can skip by this. Oh, tight. Anyway, skip by that. And we have one in this just Mondo pack that, I mean, you have to have some kind of mental deficit to pull. Although it's kind of, it stopped the padding of it, which is very odd. Stopped the patrolling of it. I don't know about that animation though. It's kind of it looks like it's glitchy, doesn't it? But it's not. It's just watery. So there's an emissary tides there. Now this one has a emissary of whatever, enchanted emissary here again. Okay. But I'm pretty sure you can just sneak right by, even if I go in the shield, right? Yeah, even if I go in the shield, it's... Oh, well, I got a little too close there. But anyway, it doesn't look like there's anything here. What's that? That's the boss up there. I can't really get up there. There's like no chance, really. The mob on that side has true sight, so we can't really go up there. But there's probably one up there too. So there's already multiple down here. And then I think we did see one like right on the other side of this gate. So let's just go show that off quick too. But I mean, the whole point of this is that there's a lot of these. Okay. Now we've only seen one void touch so far. And I think there was one here though. No, it's another tides one. So realistically, if we did this dungeon this week, we're never going to pull this pack. So that one's out. I'm probably never going to pull that pack. So that one's out. Probably never going to pull that pack. So that one's out. This pack I don't think there's any way to skip it, honestly. Like, you can't just run by it twice. I guess if you come up this side, but there's another mob on that side too. So yeah, I don't know. You know, that you're going to fight a lot of these, I think is the idea here. And they're not always going to be handled the same way. Week to week, they're going to be different. But yeah, this is actually a emissary of tides here. Doesn't look like there's one on that pack, and I don't see any over there or anything. Maybe I couldn't see them anyway. They're probably too close, but yeah. So this is unfortunately, this is the only key I have on my druid, obviously. I guess maybe I could log on live and do a different key and get a different one and check that out too. But regardless, I did want to just make sure we check this out because I would hope to get some people on here tomorrow to test this myself. I've been watching a couple streams, but sadly everybody's still fucking around on Classic. Now, a lot of people are testing this. I obviously would like to do that myself. So if anybody's out there interested in playing together on the PTR tomorrow, I'll be doing it during the live stream, normal hours. Hit me up in Discord. We can talk. We probably need a healer and a couple more damage healers one way or the other. So if you're interested, let me know. But the other thing I would like to test is whether or not there is a buff for the end of the dungeon. There doesn't appear to be. Okay, just wanna have it on paper. But there doesn't appear to be. So let's talk a little bit more about the stuff on Wowhead before we go here. So anyway, the positioning is also something that everybody should be aware of. Okay, I didn't kind of talked about this a couple times now without really mentioning it. But yeah, you know, they actually posted also on Atal Dazar, ironically. The thing is, on the PTR, you used to be able to make your own key for Season 2 testing. You were able to make your own key. You can't do that anymore. I don't really know why, but you can't really do that anymore. So sadly, that's that. But anyway, I have a Atal Dazar, so it's the same for me. You know, they're talking about it. Void Touch Emissary is present. Oh, in the first pack on the top right, we saw that. It's present in the 5-pack with the Golem. Oh, interesting. I didn't actually see that. Hold on, I want to see that. So it looks like, I wonder if there's always going to be 2 of each. I don't know, like maybe there's always 6 total in the dungeon. Something like that. I mean, I see the Tides one. I don't, oh, wait, no. Oh, there it is. Of course, nobody is ever going to pull that pack, yeah. It's right there. We stood right next to it. It's got true sight. I can't, probably can't get by it, right? Nah, it sees me even from that far away, so. This pack is like, there's no way you kill this pack, right? Like, like you combine 2 of the emissaries. Oh my god. What a mess that would be. This one's quite tall, too. Looks kind of good. Anyway, so yeah, 30 seconds left, but. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind, though, from Wowhead again. They're going to be different, and I don't know how different. Realistic, I think, what was it with Season 1? There was like 3 different configurations per dungeon. Is that right? Or was there more? There might have been more. But it's definitely going to be something that you're going to learn every week. Like, for example, maybe there's a pack. Like, so you know, this side, you're going right. Let's talk about what we would normally do in this dungeon. We'd go down here, we pull that. We're going to have to kill that mob down there, like we said. Come back up here, kill this pack. Normally, I'd mind control this mob and then take this pack into it and kill both together. Queen Ajara whispers. This I heard about this. Nothing. Doesn't say a thing. So maybe there's meant to be more to it. I'm sure that there is a lot of iteration to still be done, but there doesn't appear to be any way to get a buff. Ajara whispering you doesn't help you in any way. Let's maybe like run out and run back in. I don't think anything's going to change. But yeah, unfortunately, doesn't appear to be an after dungeon buff. At least right now. Hopefully, there will be one in the future. Because if they don't have one, I think it's just a massive mistake. I don't know why they would have it in Season 2 and not in Season 3, obviously. Maybe unless they like severely underestimated how hard reaping was gonna be. Like, I don't know if they thought like people were just gonna get stuck on reaping, like they literally couldn't advance past it and they needed a buff eventually. But yeah, I think this is gonna be way harder than reaping. Honestly, I don't know how people are saying it's easy. Like I said, there's basically a hard check for each of these. And if you meet that check, you're golden. You know what I mean? But if you're not meeting that check, if you don't have somebody to do one of these 3 things, or more so with this void touch, just blow it up or line of sight it, you're gonna wipe, right? I mean, like the complication of each of these can become so high that if it complicates it to its finest degree, you will die, right? You will not survive this. It's not like Infested, where Infested was basically no danger, right? It's gonna heal the pack, but that alone was no danger to you. None of them were ever going to actually contribute to you dying. Even if you had like 6 infested mobs all go, you know, there was like the whole pack that you're fighting was all infested, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? You're going to probably wipe because you're not going to be able to heal through or damage through the heal, but it's not going to stop you. You know, the pack itself wasn't any more dangerous, but this is the complete opposite. So I'm looking forward to testing it. First look here today. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, hope to see you guys tomorrow for some live stream and some testing of it. And then we'll give our proper opinions once we've seen a little bit more, and hopefully start working on guides for season 3, especially guides about where this might affect skips. That's the first thing we got to think about, is where it might affect skips, and that was kind of what I was getting to. A lot of people might skip this pack. I don't know. I guess you can still skip it outside of the Void Touch Emissary. I assume you can still skip these very easily. But you know, maybe there's a Void Touch Emissary in that pack. It's going to completely change how you do the dungeon. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think. I look forward to reading the comments down below, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.